Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. We got my buddy Jeff on the line also on this conference call, guys. And then we also have the amazing and phenomenal LeonFu.com, the Warren Buffett of cryptocurrency investing, the Oracle of Austin, Texas. What you got for us? Hey, what you got for us? Hey, you like that introduction, LeonFu.com?
I think it's better than what I deserve, but I'll take it.
What do you think, Jeff? I think he deserves it, bro.
I think he does too, and it's an honor to be on the phone with him and with you.
Yeah. So what? Hey, so LeonFu.com is going to give us the latest update on the Lisk ICO.
Excellent. Let's have it.
Yeah. All right. So today, and I think we're going to see a pattern because of the same thing happening for all these ICOs, right? And there was this exchange called YoBit.net.
And that's
I don't even know. I don't even. I've never even heard of these guys before. Okay.
And just real quick too, so that everybody knows, because they keep asking us for the links to the sites that we talk about. YoBit is spelled yo as in yo-yo, and then bit as in Bitcoin. So it's YoBit.net. And by the way, several people said, hey, we didn't leave the link to LeonFu.com. I just call my buddy Leon. Leon Fu is his real name. I just call him LeonFu.com is because he's so nerdy, guys. So that's do you have a site, right? You do have a website.
I do, but it's not. It hasn't been updated in years, right? I mean, it's a site that I was trying to play with iWeb, like back when Apple had this product called iWeb to help you do websites. They don't even support that anymore, but that hasn't been updated. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Leon C. Fu, I think it is my handle.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Lisk here. So there's this exchange. There's dozens, if not hundreds, of exchanges out there, and this one exchange called YoBit.net, which I've never even heard of these guys.
I've never heard of it either.
Yeah,
looking them up now.
They actually are. If you go to CoinMarketCap, one of our favorite sites to keep up with this, does have a listing for them. They do list all the exchanges, right? Like if you go to CoinMarketCap and then you click on at the top, they're listing 663 different currencies, 55 assets, and 1,827 markets. So CoinMarketCap actually keeps track of almost 2,000 exchanges, right?
Yeah.
And so this thing called YoBit.net, who I don't think anyone has ever heard of, because I think before today they traded something like 50 Bitcoins a day, right?
Yeah.
They decided, or they claim to have said that, they bought a bunch of Lisks during the ICO, and they're going to trade a proxy, a token, or an IOU that represents the amount of Lisk tokens that they had bought during the ICO. Now, we all know that, Lisk just put up a blog post today saying that they're actually delaying the release from the middle of April to the end of April, possibly into May. But I guess this exchange, YoBit, has just decided to create, they've just decided to say, we're going to create this coin that we just made up. And when the real Lisks launch, you're going to be able to exchange these tokens, these coins that we created, with real Lisks, the real Lisks that we have bought during the ICO. Right?
Yeah, I actually created a separate video today, like a 10, 12-minute video today, while I was in Manhattan in New York. That explains what's a proxy token or a proxy cryptocurrency coin. So if you're listening to this, guys, and you don't know what a proxy token is or a proxy coin or a proxy cryptocurrency is,
or IOU, is sometimes they're calling it now, an IOU coin.
Okay. Yeah, you guys just make sure you guys check out our other video. And I'll try to get it uploaded as quick as I can, too. So hopefully it's up there by the time we have this conference call updated.
Yeah, so, if you go to CoinMarketCap, you can see that before this listing, I don't think anyone has ever heard of them. Like, in the last 24 hours, I'm looking at CoinMarketCap, and they only traded about $92,000 worth of ethers, and that which is nothing, right? I mean that's maybe 50 bitcoins or what is that? Not even a couple. What is that? 100 bitcoins or so? 200 bitcoin? Not even 200 bitcoins.
How much is it?
Worth of volume.
How much is it? 90,000.
Okay, so before Lisk, before they created this proxy coin that they did, or an IOU coin, they only traded 92,000 ethers in the last 24 hours.
92,000 ethers.
$93,000 worth of Bitcoin versus ethers. Yeah.
93,000.
93,000. So that's about only like about 90 Bitcoin.
That's divided by $11, right? The list, ethers is about what?
Ethers are around $11, right?
Okay, so that's about 8,454 bitcoins.
All right, so by listing this proxy coin for Lisk, their volume more than doubled, right? And we all know how exchanges make money, right? They take a 0.2% from the buyer and the seller generally.
Yeah.
So by tapping into this demand for Lisks, people wanting to trade Lisks, they've just pretty much doubled their income.
Yeah.
Right, by trading this proxy. Right?
Yeah.
So this isn't anything unusual. Like we saw this with Ethereum. Remember the crowd sale for Ethers happened in July of 2014, and we didn't get the actual Ethereum network to launch until last summer, right? It was over a year before we had real Ethers to trade. But within like a month or two, I don't know if you guys remember ethercoin.cc. It was a proxy.
Yeah, it's a proxy.
Coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that proxy coin was a bunch of guys just made a copycat coin, right? A pre-mined coin, and they claimed that they had bought 1 million ethers during the pre-sale, right, or the ICO, and then they were going to create 1 million of these proxy coins, and then they could then list those coins on the exchange, and they said they would give their word that those coins would be exchangeable for real ethers 1-to-1 when the real Ethereum launched. And they could do that, of course, because they did buy 1 million, of the real things, right?
I thought that my understanding was that they got the real ethers from individuals that loaned it to them.
No. They said during my readings, they actually went and bought like 1 million ethers with their own money.
Yeah.
During the pre-sale, right?
Yeah.
And then once they did that, they issued 1 million ether coins against that.
Yeah.
Right, and then started to sell it because they cashed out. They made out like a bandit because they had bought it at 30 cents, and these coins that they were, in fact, maybe we should do that. Now that I think about it, there's nothing to stop us from doing that.
Yeah.
Or anybody really, right?
Yeah.
We could just they actually did that. Like they bought them at 30 cents.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just say they bought them at 30 cents.
Yeah.
And it immediately opened at $2. Right. So they could just start selling those coins at $2. Right.
Yeah.
for the coins that they had gotten at 30. That's an instant profit right there.
Yeah. So if you take $2 and divide it by 30 cents.
30 cents.
That's a 666% profit, or 6
in like a month, right?
Yeah.
And maybe in 2 months. Let's say they had bought it the pre-sale, and they would have to wait until they waited until the pre-sale ended, right? So that you couldn't buy anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then they, like a month later, I don't remember the exact date, but a month later, they sold those coins, right? And it started being traded on some of those exchanges, picked up on those coins because people wanted to buy Ethereum like months or even a year before it actually launched, right?
Yeah.
So that happened with Ethereum. That also then happened to Augur. I don't think it happened on the same scale as Ethercoin, but Augur now there's a Hong Kong exchange known as Gatecoin, which is another exchange. Like I said, CoinMarketCap says there's almost 2,000 exchanges, right? 1,827 markets that they follow.
Yeah, and just so that the listeners are listening, Gatecoin is spelled just like you hear it, gate as in gateway, and then coin as in Bitcoin.
Yeah, so they have something called Augur. They have Augur, a proxy for Augur, which I don't know if they got people to give them their private keys, or maybe they participated in the ICO themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And you keep in mind that you have to trust these guys, right? And with this Ethercoin, we didn't really know who those guys were. At least I don't know who those guys were. But after Ethereum launched, people started redeeming their Ether coins for real Ethers, right? And it does seem like everybody did get their Ethers. It wasn't a scam. Those guys actually did follow through, right? They took back all their Ether coins and then gave you the real thing, the Ethers that they had bought in the pre-sale or the ICO.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Yobit just explodes onto the scene today. They're all they had participated, or they claim to. Of course, we would have to trust them. I don't know who these guys are, but they say that they did participate in the ICO, and they're going to issue a proxy for it. That's then redeemable when the actual Lisk coins are issued when the network launches. So Augur did the same thing. Yobit did the same thing. It seems Yobit did the same for Lisk. And I anticipate all of the big ICOs that we see going forward, people are going to do that because it looks like it's free money, right?
Yeah. So you know what? If you have a chance, or if any one of us has a chance, we ought to go and create an account at Yobit.net and actually just maybe spend a few Satoshis and make a transaction just so that we see if it actually goes through.
No, it will go through, Ty.
Yeah.
Ty, it will go through.
No. I'm talking about like we do it once just so that in the future we can, whenever we tell people about it, we can at least say that we've done it just to, to verify.
Sure. Of course, we could definitely open it, but it doesn't tell you if that's a scam or not because we won't know until, let's say you buy 10 Lisks, right, which would cost you a few hundreds of, a few thousand Satoshis, not a big deal.
Yeah.
You could then see that, well, okay, Lisk just launched. Am I going to get my Lisk coins?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We'll I'm in the busy middle of tax season right now, and so I got to do my taxes. But if I get a chance, I'll get some, or you get some, and then we'll just see if we get a few proxy coins, a few proxy Lisk coins, to see if they'll actually give us the real ones in the whenever the real ones do come out.
Yeah. And the proxy coins, like Ethercoin, for example, did trade between $1 and $3 somewhere around there before the real Ethers launched, and that actually was a pretty accurate representation.
So
where Ethers opened, yeah.
Okay, so would you say that the price of the proxy coins for that specific cryptocurrency is a fairly good crystal ball or leading indicator to let us know what the future price?
Well, in hindsight, it was for Ethercoin. Right?
Okay, but that's only happened once, so we don't know, huh?
We don't know. Like Augur, let's take Augur because the same thing happened to Augur, right? Like,
but it's not trading
Bitcoin
yet.
Is trading. It is trading. The proxy is trading.
Yeah, the proxy is trading,
Bitcoin.
but the proxy Augur coins are trading, but not the real Augur coins themselves.
No, not the real Augur coins. But we'll also get when Augur does launch, so like the proxy coins, like Augur ICO'd at 50 cents, right? And right now the proxy coins on Gatecoin are trading between $9 and $10. So that's a 20x return right there, right? And it seems like Lisk coin, I think Lisk will probably launch before Augur, even though Augur had their pre-sale earlier.
Yeah.
Last October. But we're expecting Lisk to launch by the end of April or early May, and it will be really interesting to see what this thing opens at, right? I mean, I think all of us who participated in the ICO, we got in at around 7 cents, plus or minus, depending on the bonuses that we got, right?
Yeah.
And right now on Yobit, their proxy is trading over $2. I mean, I saw it go as high as almost $4. I think right now it's looking like it's almost $3 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be almost a 30 times return if the proxy holds up to the real thing. Now, keep in mind though that we won't know what the real Lisk coins would be trading at because the proxy coins are only don't have the supply of the entire Lisks, right?
Yeah.
Just like the Ether coins, there was only 1 million Ether coins, and there's really 75 million Ethers that were outstanding, right? So the supply is not matching. When you trade these proxy coins, the supply doesn't match the real supply that's out there.
Therefore, it can easily go up. The price can easily fluctuate, and it can be very volatile. It can run up or down very quickly.
Yes, because the supply is so thin. The market is so thin.
Hey, by the way, on Yobit.net, where do you see the U.S. dollar? Because all I see is the millibits.
Go to CoinMarketCap.com.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
CoinMarketCap.com/exchanges/Yobit, and then they will list all the currencies all the trading pairs that they make a market in, sorted by the highest volume, right? And so I'm looking at it right now, and I see, of course, Lisk is number one at $2.96 with 242,000 traded in the last 24 hours, right? Which is double Ethereum at 93,000.
But that's only on the Yobit.
Yes, that's on the Yobit exchange, yes.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You see what I see? Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to exchanges right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually a good sign then.
So what is a good sign?
It's a good sign that so on Yobit, like you said, the Lisk is trading at 242,000. That's a lot. That's a lot
of volume.
That's a lot of volume considering, and I think that most people don't. Let me go ahead and just, since that's more of a technical side, let me just cover that real quick so that the audience the listeners understand how important that is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one of the fundamental factors, guys, that LeonFood.com and I look at is that we look at the daily trading volume of the cryptocurrencies, and in our investment method, one of the key indicators that we look at is how much volume is being traded for that cryptocurrency. And usually we try to stay within the top 10 or the top dozen or the top 12 most actively traded by volume, because we don't want to jump into a cryptocurrency that does not have a lot of volume, because then you get a lot of slippage and your fills are not clean, and you yourself can move the price of that cryptocurrency in a bad way if there's not enough volume being traded. So the top number one, most volume traded cryptocurrency obviously is the granddaddy of them all, which is Bitcoin. And they trade at this moment, to give you guys an idea, it's trading at $51 million in the last 24 hours. And the second biggest one is Ethereum, which trades at $15 million. And at the peak, just a few weeks ago, it was up to like over $30 million traded. And
I've seen it over 50. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it over 50? Okay.
Yeah, and Bitcoin over 100 million. Just in the last few weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
But right now it's slowed down a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of calmed down. And then I don't know what this Ripple is. I really don't even see that as being a real cryptocurrency, because that's a centralized cryptocurrency. So I wish they would not put that there, because I don't put it in the same category as all the other cryptocurrencies. Okay, because it's just a token from a company. But anyway,
who owns the majority of the Ripples? Yes. Yeah,
but like Litecoin. So just ignore Ripple. The third one is actually Litecoin, which is $500,000, and then Monero is at 259,000, and then Factom, which is like the fifth most popularly traded, is like 225,000. And then to give you guys an idea, all of a sudden you jump over to Yobit.net, and they are trading 242,000, basically almost $250,000. So they're basically,
and that's in 12 hours. As of we're recording this, Yobit launched at 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
And so that's not even 24 hours. Today's the first day. That's like in 12 hours, 12 or 13 hours, something like that. Yeah.
And just so you know, guys, that right away that just puts Lisk at number 6 on the most on the list. If you sort it by volume, guys, in the last 24 hours, it would be like the number 6 most actively traded cryptocurrency. If we just
today.
for today, if you just took the Lisk Proxy coins from Yobit and you add it to the regular list of traded volume, that's quite a bit. And you know what? Something that I forgot to mention in the other video that I need to go back and add a piece to it is that when I was explaining what the proxy tokens and the proxy coins were, I forgot to mention that the reason why the exchanges want to they're rushing to go out there and put their proxy coins first is to bring business to their exchange, because once they get the majority of the trades at their exchange, then it's just pretty much free money for them.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
I think what you were saying was that, like, if we look at the amount of Ethereum that's being traded at Poloniex, if we look at the amount of Ethereum that's being traded at Poloniex, just today alone, Poloniex traded $6.6 million worth of ethers at Poloniex. So if you take that 6.67160 here, it's pretty much $6,672,160 worth of volume that's being traded as we're looking at it, and you multiply that by the cost to make the transaction cost at Poloniex. Let me see what it is. It's like .001 or something like that?
No, it's .00. I remember they charge both the buyer and the seller.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah,
so
that's
you gotta
right.
Add them up, right?
Yeah, so it's I'm looking at it right now. It's .01 ether. So if it's a buy and sell transaction, then it's going to be a .02. You're right.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of math here. I'm thinking they're getting around $25,000-$30,000 a day.
Yeah.
In fees.
This is the reason why the exchanges, because they're making $27,000 a day or more. This is the reason why the exchanges are fighting to be the first exchange to put out a proxy token or a proxy coin for that particular ICO, and that way they draw business to their exchange. Now, I don't know. I don't feel very comfortable about YoBit.net, simply because I've never heard of them before.
Yeah.
And you know, until you brought it to my attention, I never even knew it existed.
Yes, and I mean, there's almost 2,000 exchanges that CoinMarketCap follows, right? So
yeah,
we're not going to.
But the thing is this: I mean, like we know Poloniex, we know Kraken, we even know the extinct exchange like Mt. Gox, the extinct exchanges like.
Yeah, those are all the big boys, right?
Yeah, we actually know what they are. BTC China, those are the popular ones. I've never heard of YoBit.
There's a drop down called Trade Volume. Click it. And there's two options. One is by currency, and one is by exchange. So click on the one by exchange.
Okay, I see it.
Okay. Now, this one shows you a list of the exchanges with the most volume in terms of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? Everything converted to U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
And, of course, number one is Poloniex, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, they're raking in the cash then.
Yeah. So you can see traded...
And you know they're not probably regulated or anything. Like they don't have to comply with the regular laws that.
They're a U.S.-based exchange. They're based in Montana. Believe it or not.
Where's that at?
Okay.
Is that even in America?
That is in America. Yes.
I mean,
but you can see Ethereum is almost 80% of their volume, right? 78%. And Monero, everything else doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all Ethereum, right? But if you can go down this list and you can see Gatecoin, which I had mentioned about Augur, right, where Augur is traded.
Yeah.
So, or not Augur, but the proxy to Augur, right?
Yeah.
That's on Gatecoin, which is a Hong Kong-based exchange. It does over 8 million a day, but they don't serve people in America because of regulatory issues. So if you live in America, they don't want an account from you. They're not going to. You can't open an account there.
Okay.
But then, going a little further down the list, there's Kraken, right?
Yeah.
That's making a market in Bitcoin and Ethereum to a bunch of different fiats, right?
Yeah.
Bitflyer, which I guess is a Japanese exchange. They're doing Bitcoin to Japanese yen, right?
Yeah.
With 3.8 million. Then Bitfinex, which is I think another Hong Kong exchange. They mainly do Bitcoin and a little bit of Ethereum. And then there's ItBit, BTC Box, BTCE, and Coinbase Exchange, the one we use. That's at number 10. They do about $2 million a day between Bitcoin and USD, right?
Yeah.
And basically everything after the top 10, I don't think most of us have not heard of most of these guys because they do $1 million or less per day.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still not. If you think about it, it's still not bad, bro. It's still not bad.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing $1 million a day and you're collecting 1%, right?
Well, about 0.5%, right? They're collecting about 0.4%. That seems to be the fee.
Okay, well, that's still $4,000 a day.
But, Ty, it costs a lot of money to run an exchange. It's not easy, right? You got customer support issues. You got security issues. You know that almost every exchange has been hacked.
Yeah.
Right? You're holding your customers' money. You have the government might be coming after you too, right? Hackers are coming after you because you have all this money sitting on your exchange.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not profitable. Like unless you are really big, like Poloniex or Coinbase or one of these big guys, BTCE, where they're doing, 10 million, at least $5 million or more per day. It's really not profitable.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, Yobit is something that what's the takeaway here? The takeaway is that we're going to see a lot of more of these ICOs coming up.
Yeah.
And for things that are popular, like Lisk, Augur, and probably Slockit is going to be huge. That's my guess. But they're not going to launch for months or even a year. Somebody's going to set up a proxy coin or an IOU coin so the exchanges can start trading it. And some of them could be scams. Remember, some of them, I bet you we're going to have a few of these that just turn out to be scams. Like when the real thing launches, they say, "Nope, we don't really have any of the real coins to give you."
Yeah.
Right. That's always a risk when you buy one of these proxy coins. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so I want to wrap up this call, man, just so that our listeners know that if they got into Lisk, right, they can go and monitor the current price of the potential. I should say the potential price, because we don't.
It's the proxy price. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's the price of a proxy.
Yeah. So we should do that.
But it gives us a good indication of like what somebody is willing to pay.
Yeah.
For Lisk coins, because they are buying a proxy. They're expecting to get the real thing.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But it's not entirely accurate is because the supply is not accurate, right?
Yeah, because right now there's like a 2 millibit spread on the buy and the sell side.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Just so that you guys know, just so you guys know, in case you're listening and you don't understand how big of a issue that is, if you take the 2 pip spread, I mean not 2 pip, I'm thinking in terms of Forex here, but if you think of the 2 millibit spread and you take the 2 millibit and divide it by the 5 millibit price that's going on, we're talking about a 40% spread. That means that would be the equivalent of somebody buying or selling, let's say $100 stock, and the people that want to sell for $100, and the people that want to buy it for $60. So there's a $40 difference there between the buyers and the sellers, and that is an extremely wide spread. Because nowadays,
it might tighten up though, Ty. Let's watch it for a week or so. It might tighten up later on as more volume comes in.
Yeah, for sure. But I just want to give the listeners an idea of how so they have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So, all right, man. Let's wrap up this conference call to update the listeners on this. You got anything else? Questions, Jeff? Did he drop off?
Hey.
Oh.
No, I'm here. Thanks for allowing me to be the first to listen to LeonFu.com on this, man. It's completely fascinating.
Okay. Any last words, LeonFu.com?
No, that's an update where it's let's keep an eye on this because this is looking like it might be a big winner.
Hey, check this out. You know how they have like this is something that Jeff and I was discussing, and we want to get your input on it, and maybe the listeners can let us know too and give us their input also. Jeff and I was thinking maybe, how like they do the money show for the traditional trading and investing for the stock market, futures market, options market and stuff. We ought to have like a cryptocurrency investing summit or something where we just tell all the listeners just to meet up and maybe we just share some ideas or something in Dallas or something, so it's centralized and then everybody can meet us up there. Or we can rent like a hotel conference room or...
Sure, yeah, like it sounds like you want to do something like a weekly meetup or something, or a podcast or something.
No. It's not just a weekly meetup, man. Like, we'll make it so it's more worthwhile than just a regular meetup. Maybe we'll have some speakers and we'll have some people come there and set it up. All right, man. Thanks for everyone for listening on this call, guys. If you guys like these conference calls here with LeonFood.com and myself, give us a thumbs up, let us know, and leave your questions, suggestions in the comment section, guys. It's late at night. It's midnight here in New York City, where I'm calling from, and Jeff is in Boston, and then we got LeonFood.com, the Oracle of Austin, Texas. So, are you in Austin right now, bro?
I am in Austin. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm in Austin.
Okay. All right.
All right, man.
All right. We'll catch you later, bro. Catch you later,
Catch
Jeff.
you later. All right. Have a good night.
All right, guys.
All right. Take care.